Welcome back to Makeup Effects Live at IMATS.
And this is the Big Kahuna. And we have a fire issue here in the convention center. Let's say that again. How are you, Big Kahuna?
I'm great. Don't tell the fire marshal.
His head is literally on fire, and this is the work of the great Steve LaPorte. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you here,
great.
and we love your demo you did for the show.
Well, it was a lot of fun.
You want to tell us a little bit about the makeup?
Yeah, well.
Why don't you have this big coconut tell you about it?
Well, how does it feel to wear? Did he make you comfortable?
I love it. It reminds me of the island. Well, it makes me sentimental.
What was the inspiration?
Well,
why did you bring a tiki character to the show?
I spent a lot of time in Hawaii when I did Lost. I was there for 6 years, and I started making jewelry, carving out of bone and ivory, doing a lot of Polynesian art.
Is this one of your
that
pieces?
Is,
oh, that's actually
this is a sound system. Let me see. Yeah, this is a sound system. He carries his own sound system wherever he goes. So
you get into Hawaiian art.
You get Hawaiian art.
And you thought you'd pay homage to the islands.
Yeah, I've got a few tattoos while I was over there and stuff. And
can you show them? Are they in places that you
just
can reveal?
Just little places here and there. So they grew.
So you going to Lost, it's sort of, and your shirt is
the shirt's a Hawaiian. Yeah, I have 1/2 size of my closet is Hawaiian shirts and stuff.
Well, eventually you just got to make it back to the islands and live there permanently.
Right.
So like to bring people up to speed on who you are. For those of you who are not aware of Steve LaPorte, many of you are. Those of you who aren't, he's done so many amazing things, and I'm going to talk you through some highlights. Let's go back to the beginning. Worked on The Lost Boys. Did some of those great vampire makeups on The Lost Boys. Won an Oscar for Beetlejuice with V. Neil.
Yes.
Fantastic work on that. Galaxy Quest, again, with V. Neil. And my father. Did you get to work with my dad on that?
Yeah, I worked with your dad, and also on the Terminator films with your dad.
On Terminator, of course. On Terminator 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
With Jeff Dunn
as
well.
Yeah.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas on Rick Baker's team.
Yes.
Terminator 3 Rise of Machines. I see it here with my daddy and Jeff Dunn.
Yeah.
Van Helsing. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, again with V.
Actually, V stepped off. I did that with Joel Harlow.
Joel Harlow's show, okay. X-Men First Class and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, just a few highlights. Also on TV, Longmire. And as you mentioned, 6 years on Lost. 6 years on Lost.
Also currently for Amazon Prime, a new show called Bosch.
On Bosch, how do you spell Bosch?
Which will be B-O-S-C-H, like the tools.
Check out Bosch coming up.
Michael Connelly books, detective novels. They're very popular. A lot of people have read them. It'll be out in February on Amazon Prime.
On Amazon Prime?
Yep.
Very
and
cool.
Longmire just got picked up by Netflix, so it's coming back.
Look at what the era we're in when it's not CBS, it's not NBC, it's not even cable, it's Amazon and Netflix.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just, there's so much more content and you can be a bit riskier and it's great.
What's great about Longmire, too, is I only do the makeup effects in the show. So whoever gets dragged by a horse or knocked down and beaten up, I get to do that. So I focus on that. I have a lot more time to put into it. I set up a little portable makeup lab. I throw in my truck, drive to Santa Fe. They gave me a space behind the sound stage, so I just turn stuff out as I can.
It's a living.
It's a living.
A fun one.
Yes.
You need someone dragged by a horse today?
Yeah.
I should mention you've also won an Emmy for the X-Files and a Saturn Award for Beetlejuice as well.
And well, most recently, for the final episode of Breaking Bad, I did the application on Bryan Cranston as Walter White. Canby made the prosthetics, and I was tapped to go in and take over. And for the last 2 shows, took care of that transformation on Bryan. It was silicone prosthetics and hair work and a lot of fun character work.
That's my wife's favorite show, honey, if you're watching. Steve worked on your favorite show.
Yeah.
So it's kind of impressive what I get to do here. I get to talk to Breaking Bad people.
Hopefully it's a lot of everyone's favorite shows.
What do you think of this man's impressive list of credits, Big Kahuna?
I'll tell you what, they call me Big Kahuna, but he's Little Kahuna. Very impressive. Yes.
How does it feel to have your makeup done by an Academy Award winner?
I didn't know that. Now the pressure is on. Just kidding. He has soft to the touch. He knows how to push the right buttons, and he doesn't glue your eyes shut. What else could you say?
But he does set your head on fire.
It's
And you're not aware of that?
No, that's just an everyday
Okay,
thing.
let's get a blanket over here and put this out. Thank you. Fire extinguisher.
This is a combination of about every material I could think of.
Talk us through it. What have you
Well,
used?
because we're in an educational arena, I wanted to make sure that I covered all the bases. So this is foam latex, polyurethane foam, electronics, silicone encapsulated prosthetics on the hands, and a little electronics even down to the props for the music that he wears around his neck.
Talk us through where one starts and the other stops. We've got
the big dome head, take a turn around, Kahuna. This big dome piece here is all polyurethane foam. I did that because of the size of the mold.
Yep.
I didn't want to have to bake a piece. I also needed the rigidity of it, but also flexible enough to put the electronics in. As it turns around, then this entire piece here is all very soft foam latex. It's in two pieces, a big piece here, and then one chin piece that goes on that allows me adjustments. Because as anybody knows, a big mask is a little, if it gets off, it's off.
Yep.
This way I had a little more control putting it together. The bone is a little separate little prop I made to go in there.
and these you've definitely stolen from some device.
These are actually lights that go on a bicycle spoke.
Perfect.
And I just came across them magically one day in Home Depot. And I wanted him to be able to really draw attention to himself. That's where the flames and the LEDs in the head.
Let's talk about that for a
And
second.
that,
Did you
yeah.
MacGyver the whole rig up there?
Yeah, I MacGyvered the whole
What
rig.
kind of fan did you use?
I used, actually, I built from scratch my own system with a fan from a computer.
Is it visible if we have him tilt his head
Tilt your head
forward?
down.
Big Kahuna, we're sorry. Assume the position.
Ouch.
Thank you.
But what I found out was the design of the airflow required more work than I had time. So I cannibalized one of those Halloween flame bowls
Sure.
and made an extra ring and added some additional LEDs in here. The flame bowl, in and of itself, it's a complete separate unit. Looks this, the whole thing pops
take a
out.
Look at that. Easy to service.
Easy to service, get right in there, it all plugs into place. If it's,
Well, you used so many
that.
techniques in this makeup. That's kind of fun, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you felt like a little kid.
it was great. If I had another 3 weeks, it would have been great, but it was a crunch to get it done.
If you think what he brought to this show is great as is, please show us in the comments your love for Steve LaPorte. I think this is one of the standout makeups at this show. I've never seen anything
Great.
like it. It's really fun.
Well, great.
And you have a great performer, and that is huge.
He sells it.
This is, by the way, this is Blake Johnson playing the Big Kahuna. I won't ask you to get out of character, Blake, but I want to mention that you're not actually a tiki. That there's an actor inside
It's
there.
against my contract. I can't talk about it.
Okay, good. Very good. An actor who stays in character. Awesome. So we're going to let you wander the floor
Perfect,
and
thank you.
and go enjoy the
can't
show.
As they say on my island, I'm only on honor, which means see you later. Pleasure to meet me.
Rodney Dangerfield of the Islands.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be
great.
kind of a lounge lizard.
I
you
love
know?
him. I love him. That was Blake Johnson, the Big Kahuna, Steve's makeup here at the show. Let's talk about the show in general, Steve.
Sure.
What do you think of this show and this collection of legends who
Well,
are gathering
you know
here?
what's great, because I've been coming to IMATS since the very first one, when it was at a little room in Pasadena. I don't know where it was. It was just some tiny little room around here. And it slowly got bigger and bigger. And I found that I like performing in front of people. I start off.
You started out with Ringling Brothers.
I start off with Ringling Brothers.
That's something we
as
can
a
talk
clown,
about.
yeah.
He went to clown college, this man.
So I was a circus clown for 4 years. I walked high stilts, made props.
And you were the boss
and
clown, the youngest ever.
Eventually I became boss clown. I was the youngest ever at the time. I was 21, telling people what to do who were much older and much more experienced.
But you were wearing stilts.
But I was
so you looked a
just
lot
part of the
taller
time.
and they respected
Yeah.
you.
So I find that I like getting up in front of people. You know, we're in a people business. We touch people's face all the time. We have to deal with people around us on the set. And as I progressed in my career, I felt that it's time to start giving back a little bit for education. because I can't do this forever, nor do I care to. And there's time to take a rest and let the next wave take over, and hopefully you can instill a little bit into them, you know, where to go, pick it up. But what's interesting about IMATS is that it started small and grew, and then you'd go from a little makeup demo over here, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's like every booth has some type of demonstration going on, which is great because you can actually see the products you're buying used. You can't walk over and pick up a tattoo palette and go, well, how do I do that? Do I put water in it, or what do I do?
Watch that guy or that girl. She's doing it right there.
Yeah, because believe it or not, there's a lot of people who don't know how to use this stuff that they see here. And they can spend a week in here and walk out with a whole new bag of tricks and, you know, go from there.
So your philosophy, obviously, from this discussion is best to not protect the techniques, but to share the techniques. That's how we raise the game of the entire industry.
Sure. I mean, I'm a longtime friend of Dick Smith.
Of course, and you also are one of his...
I'm one of the consultants on his basic makeup course. The students will do a makeup and send it to David Smith, and he'll forward it to me, and I'll critique it. Just to help them along, help them decide if that's where they want to, you know, further themselves. A lot of people aren't cut out for this business for many times. If you want to have a family, if you want to have the free time, you have to find a way to juggle all of that successfully to make it work.
Most people don't realize the makeup artist is typically, along with the second AD, the first and the transportation crew, like the earliest to show up. You're there if it's an advanced makeup, hours ahead of the crew
even
call.
when everyone else goes home.
And then you're staying for removal for hours.
And
that makes it tough
on
to be a
Lost,
family
I would go
person.
home and get on the computer and go, okay, what do I got to do next week?
What do you got to do next? Yep.
So I do a lot of unpaid hours off the clock. And my wife is always saying, well, how come you're still working outside? You should charge them on the time card. I go, well, I can only do so much because I want it to be that much better.
Yep.
And it's about raising your own bar and you're really evaluating yourself as you go. You want to get better. You always want to improve every way you can.
Well,
and
this is how you win Oscars and Emmys, Steve. It's that attitude of excellence.
You know, and it's also, you could also be crazy ADD about it. You don't have to be. I mean, I find a barometer. I have somewhere in between here.
Yeah.
The makeup is good.
Right.
It doesn't have to be like way up here.
Because you work on a makeup for days.
Once in a while it'll reach there, but you have to have a barometer or you'll drive yourself crazy.
Yep.
And if you find that moment to just give it that extra touch, that raises it.
Yep.
And save it for the close-up. Because you don't have to do it in the wide shot.
That's right.
You don't have to do it in the wide shot.
Be a good friend with the AD. Find out when your closes are.
Pay attention.
Yes.
You know, do it when it's necessary.
Yep.
Don't run in every 5 seconds to touch something up that's
nothing
on
more
their
annoying
back.
to the crew or to the actor.
Yeah, and
we're going to be joined.
Yeah.
This booth is going to get more fun.
Tom,
bring up a chair.
All right.
And we're going to see your makeup.
Okay.
This is the second half of this makeup. This segment. We're bringing Tom in.
Cool.
You know Tom.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Tom.
We've met a few times.
I don't see
Welcome to the segment. Welcome to the segment.
Oh, thank you.
This is Thomas Surprenant, and he's brought his demo, which is called, I don't have the name of it. What's this demo?
It's a Giger-inspired Cthulhu.
A Giger-inspired Cthulhu. Fantastic. Will you come up a little closer and do a little rotation for us?
I love the light in the mouth.
Open.
Can we see you? Oh, hold on.
Another good use of lighting.
So how are you achieving that? That's placed in the
yeah, it's encapsulated.
dental prosthetic
it's
at the top?
encapsulated many little LEDs, and then battery pack ran through.
And is this all foam?
Oh yes.
This piece?
Everything's foam, except the teeth are, acrylic.
Are you good with us just flicking you in the teeth like that, Cthulhu?
and then we've got a little homage to Giger in the back. It's
Here,
how
let's see the
everything
back.
Nice.
becomes a little don't bend, just stand straight
A
out.
little biomechanical there.
Yeah, biomechanical,
this is
kind
great.
of, also a little phallic.
And all of this is
Yes.
if it's Giger, it's phallic, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is all this? These are all.
Yeah,
foam
these are
pieces?
just foam scrape mold, flat mold blender pieces, just to kind of break it up.
And did you tell me the name of your model yet?
Patrick Devine.
Hey,
You can
Patrick, turn around.
You can't really hear or see.
Hey, Patrick, how are you? Good. Can you breathe? Good. He's not killing you. No. You know, are these all prosthetic muscles, or is he really this muscular?
He's really that big, yeah.
Yeah, I hate you. Physically fit people annoy me.
Yeah.
And what is your base here? Is this PAX?
This is my prosthetic paint. It's similar.
Oh, this is your prosthetic
paint?
paint.
Yeah, it's similar to PAX, but it's cosmetic pigment and dye. It's Beta Bond based with additional tactifiers. It's been used on tons of feature films. People are using it for tattoo cover because it holds up. And yeah.
Well, can you say that again? Beta Bond tactifiers?
No, Beta Bond is its base, but additional tactifiers to give a little bit more bite to it.
A little bit more bite.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've heard the word tactifiers today. Thank you.
I didn't know that was a word.
Yes,
I should.
You just call Merriam-Webster and get that in the dictionary.
I know, it's smarty. We don't like smart people. Just so you know more about Thom, I've had the pleasure to work with Thom on a Michael Jackson video my father directed called Ghosts. But the man has worked on many, many cool things. He won an Emmy for Star Trek Deep Space Nine with Michael Key, who we had on the show to open the show.
Oh, excellent.
Also, lots of great work on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Halloween H2O, which we also worked on.
Not
the same film,
thing.
but not together.
Right.
That was directed by Steve Miner.
Right.
Directed Halloween H2O, right? That was the 20-year anniversary. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Everyone in this building worked on that movie.
The Grinch was great because it was a melting pot. You know, you go into the soundstage and it's wall-to-wall makeup and hair artists.
And we actually all got along on that show, which was great.
At least that's the story you're telling on this webcast. And the cult classic, Donnie Darko. Very cool movie.
Thank you.
As you mentioned, you have your product line,
Yes.
the prosthetic paint, and it's just great to have you, dude.
Thank you so much.
Tell us, have a seat, get comfortable.
All right, I'm gonna slide you over, Dark
And Patrick, you can wander and terrorize the people here if you like. We're gonna have a little conversation.
Can you see out of those little eye slits?
Just
slightly?
just burned a little bit out. Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up a little bit, but Steve was talking about, and I think it's a good thing to go out on. The importance of education. And I know, Thom, you've been an educator for a long, long time.
Yes.
And how we guarantee the survival of this industry we all love by sharing. So what are your thoughts?
Yes. I think coming from like my personal background, having family in the film industry and like 2 generations before me kind of like saying, well, this is the way it used to be, this is what's happened, this is the way when I got in it was, et cetera, et cetera. And so one of the things I like to focus on with education is our past. And when I got in, I was very respectful of the old timers, quote unquote, because you learn things that were raw. And I think with the knowledge that I got from people who were in ahead of me has saved me a lot for the simple reason I know how to diversify. There's so many people just getting a partial education or think that they'll be able to ride 25, 30 years just doing lips and eyes or becoming a personal to an actor, which I have seen it time and again. 10-year good run with an actor, and then all of a sudden, they shake, clean house. They shake it up and they get new people, and you're out of play for 10 years. People forgot who you were because you're doing one person. And then if you can't diversify, and I think with education, diversifying is the best thing. Me having a product line, you with your products, we are also knowledgeable people. We know what the requirements are. We know this needs to hold up this long. This needs to look this way under camera conditions. And so, it's really good to take a great deal of interest in your work and keeping it as diverse as possible. And it'd be like just eating vanilla ice cream when there's 31 flavors. So.
And there's even more than 31 ways to approach makeup. There's hundreds, and that's such a great point. Be diverse, learn it all, and it's easier than ever. I mean, back when we were all, where did you find any information? You'd write to Dick Smith, or you'd scour.
You'd look at old makeup books. You look Famous Monsters magazines. Later on, Fangoria magazines, wherever there was an article, you would scour it, you would look at it. And, tell me, when you developed your product, you developed it not only to make it better for you, but better for everyone else.
Right.
I did the same thing with my product line.
We haven't mentioned your product line. Go ahead and...
I have a product called the Face Maker series.
The Face Maker series.
They're cream-based palettes. And I have one that's the primaries and one that's like muted colors. The primaries for doing like, clown makeups, Day of the Dead. I went for popular, fun makeups. People who just want to play in the makeup area. They don't have to have aspirations of becoming a makeup artist. But I proved these worked within the industry for 5 years before I really broke them into more mass market. And it's a struggle to do that, to find buyers, because there's so much makeup on the market. But I wanted to keep it simple, 8 colors with a brush and a series of basic instructions on how to do it. So it's like an educational package that's, like $35, and you walk out and you can do whatever you want to do for every occasion, or zombies, or whatever. And I wanted to make it easy. And it has a little booklet that's called Makeup for Just About Any Knucklehead. That was the point.
Well, that applies to none of our viewers, because they're all very brilliant. But other shows might have knuckleheads watching.
Sure.
Well, guys, we got to wrap it up, and I want to
Sure.
make sure people know to visit your sites. If you check the description underneath this video, you're going to see links for both Steve and Thom. Check them out during a break or after the webcast, and learn from these gentlemen. Come to an IMATS, meet them in person. It's wonderful to have you guys on, and thanks for bringing your demos.
Great to be here.
Next up, guys, we have another very exciting segment with some demos. Roland Blancafleur from RBFX and Dan Gilbert and Bruce Spalding Fuller are going to be over here. 3 guests in one segment. So stick around. We're going to take a short break, and let's put our virtual hands together for Steve LaPorte and Thomas Surprenant. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.